Okay, we're back. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to have our little chat, okay, about the Holy Grail. And let's call this, is your core on the floor? Now, there are two main, there are two main types of people, yes or no? We've got the person that looks like they swallowed a beach ball, right? So let's not put them down. People are not stupid. People have been dumbed down. So let me make this perfectly clear. And then guess what? Does anybody notice how we are so accepting of someone that looks like they're 15 months pregnant? We don't say a word. We don't say a word to them. We just let it happen. Mainly it's men. I'll see a man and a woman together. The woman is like, wow, she's still in really good shape. She's holding his hand. What devotion and love. What devotion and love. Because guess what? That guy looks like he's out here. Yes or no? Am I making this up? What? You know, you can say that you don't like me or like what I say, but then tell me I'm not speaking and just trying to help and show people what they're not seeing. Yes.
Why is it usually men?
Oh, we don't want to go there right now. Okay, I'm going to try this. Let me see. Can I put this in a nutshell and not be disrespectful? Let me see. First of all, women are actually born with a chemistry of hormones and chemicals that spell care. Okay? Men aren't. And the reality is, women will do it too. They will overeat to suppress their emotions. Men will always do that. They'll always do that because men were taught, big boys don't cry. Be a man and understand something. The reality is that men don't allow themselves to feel. Right? Look at how many people will sit down at a meal. They'll sit down at a meal. Oh, wait here. Has anybody here watched the All-American Meat and Potato Man, Spoiled Rotten?
Yep.
Yeah. It's 24 hours in the average couple's life. He comes home.
Where do you see this?
Oh, I don't know. Somewhere. No, I'm kidding. The library.
And library.
In our library. You know the library? Have you been to the library yet?
Yeah, it was under construction when I went.
No, it's never. No.
Oh,
It's
it was being updated. So
no. It's all there.
okay.
That library is over here under construction, and this one just runs. So when they told you it was under construction, you thought we meant it was shut down for a while. No trespassing. No, everything is in there. Okay? So look at the meat and potato man. Now here, let's just go with this. Honey, I'm home and I'm hungry. Right? Is that true?
Yes.
I'm starving. Really? He's always starving. Why is he always starving? Because he's actually starving for unconditional love for himself, which he'll never find. That's the first nutrient. Love has all your vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and good bacteria in it. Love is the highest frequency when self-served. Okay, now, when he comes home and he goes, honey, I'm hungry, I'm starving. So he sits down, and guess what? We're all taught to cook meals that will age us.
Mm-hmm.
Take a look around. Okay, so now he starts eating. Nom, 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 nom. And he doesn't understand that when you eat, you drink your solids and you chew your liquids. So that means every solid, if we were to chew every bit of solid food that came into our mouth, we didn't swallow it until it was a liquid. You could eat 1/3 of what you eat, and you would get 500% more nutrition out of it. Now, every time that you feel bloated, every time that you have cramping, and every time, this is the most of the population, so every time that I'm starving, I eat. it's only within 5 to 10 minutes, I'm starting to feel better because my glucose levels are coming up, right? Before you leave the table, how many people here feel more tired than when they went to the table, but you feel satisfied because it was emotional? And you're not going to be satisfied because satisfaction only comes from nutrition. So understand, the only thing that shuts off starving is high vibrational nutrition. And most people aren't eating high vibration nutrition. So it's this: honey, are you full yet? So you think that when you're full, that's called health. I fill him up every night. And then you wonder why he's not there for you an hour later. Because he overeats. He doesn't know how to combine his food, and neither do you. He doesn't chew his food. And at the table, we'll get into this in more detail on Monday because this is important. At the table, anything goes. You didn't pick up your socks. Did you get what I wanted? Did you hear what's going on in the world? There's another war. Now, who can digest their food there? Around the table needs to be a sanctuary of peace and harmony, if anything. So, honey, what was your high today? How was your day? Da-da-da-da-da. And then supporting the person. And don't go down the road where, guess what? As soon as you put yourself or another person in fight, fright, flight. Okay, how many people know that digestion takes 70% of your energy when you eat? How many people know, are you ready for this? That 90% of that 70% leaves and goes to your arms and legs as soon as you create any type of fight, fright response. I don't care if it's organic. I don't even care if you chewed it. Even food combine it. As soon as you create fear for yourself or someone else at the table, you just poison the food. The invisible creates the physical. You could have beautiful, combined, organic, high vibrational food. And the first negative thing, if you feel negative, you do not eat that. You go have a shower. You go do your Lionheart breathing. You go do some sun gazing and rebalance yourself and bring yourself back into harmony and then eat the food. Are you understanding? Okay. So we've been set up. Everybody here has been set up. Hurry up, kids, and eat. We're always in a hurry. So now, why do you eat so fast? I don't know. But we always had to hurry because mom wanted to do the dishes. Dad wanted to do this. We had to go here. You know, hurry up, kids, get in the car. Where are we going? I don't know. So everything is about rushing. Now remember, I don't want to get into it in great detail because we'll start off here at the large intestine, which is the last 5 to 7 feet of your digestive tract, which is the highway of your life. Okay? So what happens is the food comes in. Hopefully you combined it properly. And hopefully, because I'm going to tell you right now, if you were to chew your food, the smaller the particle, because your hydrochloric acid and the enzymes, we'll get into it in real detail over here on Monday, but it only will digest the outside. So if you chewed it down to a particle, that means you get everything out of your food. Oh, now everybody's complaining about how much food costs. Well, do you know why it costs so much? Because it's going down in chunks. Do you want to cut your bill down by 2/3? Then guess what? You chew your liquids and you drink your solids. So understand, let me tell you a story. Back in the days of the concentration camps, like we haven't seen that lately, except in our homes. But anyways, back in the days of the concentration camps in the First and Second World War, the people that actually came out of the war and being healthy, they would put the food in their mouth and mix it with saliva and they wouldn't chew it. They would let the enzymes break it down. They might move it around a little bit, but they would allow it to break down. What happens when you're really hungry? You gulp down your food, right? So the people that actually starved to death were the people that actually swallowed their food in chunks. And they would have lived if they would have done. Are you with me yet?
Yes.
Nobody's ever told you that, right? It's logic, right? It's this is all just simplicity. And that's what we need everything to be. Very simple, step-by-step logic. Okay? All right. So here's the deal. Does that sound the way I talked about how your family eats? They eat the negative way, and that's the majority of the population. Now, so today is your core on the floor. So the person with the, where they could actually put the beer and set it on their, up here, because it's out so far, that person is got a viral infection, really bad. Okay, you might want to write this down. Okay, and just as the medical system makes up stuff, I'm going to now too. It's called gas ass. Okay, and it's a very bad virus. Okay, and it's called living unconsciously. Okay, now let's move on. So now the next thing is you've either got that person or you've got the one that has the roll. That roll that's hanging out is actually your transverse colon that was under your ribs that has fallen down now, and it's called Death Valley hanging out. We'll explain that in a few minutes when I get over to this far. Okay? So, we got the highway of life, starts off at your mouth. Most people only have what? 4-inch consciousness. Am I addicted to it? They never think about that. They just are. And will it fit? Yes or no?
Yes.
Wow, you ate all that quick, eh? Okay, you're going to notice something. Addictive foods go down faster. Healthy foods go down slower. Because fast food kills. Fast food? There's fast food places everywhere. Eat your food fast. They always give you a clue. If you eat your food fast, you're going to die earlier. And if you go to a fast food restaurant, you're going to die earlier. And you're going to suffer the whole way through. And understand something, I'll get into this. You do know that your government takes your tax dollars and subsidize sugar and dairy and cheese. Your tax dollars are paying to make everything cheaper in all these fast foods. Because your government doesn't work for you. Your government works for an internal government that actually owns all the fast food places. Sometimes you wonder and you go, oh my God, that place, I never see any business there. How do they stay open? Because money doesn't matter to the psycho elite. Because money doesn't exist for them. Because money only exists to entrap us all. We don't need to have money on this planet for everyone to be healthy, wealthy, and have a beautiful, blissful life. Money was created to actually enslave you. Really? It doesn't enslave you? Well, how many of you have enough of it? Well, you've been taught to have poverty consciousness. That's why you don't have it. You've been taught to disrespect yourself and not find your passion and purpose and your gift and then gift the world and you have all the money in the world. You've been taught to go find a job. You've been taught to get approval. You take things personal. So guess what? Then you bring your vibration down. How am I doing? Any questions? Not yet? Okay. All right. So we got the mouth, goes in the stomach. And we'll go, anybody here, I can't do it right now. We're going to go into that in detail, what all that is. And we'll go into, then it goes to the small intestine, which is 22 feet. Okay. And then from there, remember something, you've already traveled. Your food has already traveled 23 feet. Does anybody understand something? Are you a dog?
No.
Do you ever see your dog eat?
Yeah.
Their hydrochloric acid is 40 times stronger than a human's. So when it goes in there, it just goes, it sizzles it right down to nothing. Why weren't we created with 40%, not 40 times stronger hydrochloric acid?
Did you say 40 times stronger?
40 times stronger. Why weren't we created like that? Well, I think the big thing is compassion and patience for ourselves. Maybe. Or we could look at it another way, and they just want us dead. I don't know. Make up your own story. Mine is that it's going to maybe teach me compassion and patience and slow down.
Is it possible when they changed our...
Is it possible? Speak loud.
Is it possible that when our DNA was changed from 12 strands to 2 strands, that they also did something with the hydrochloric acid?
Listen, we can't... I'm just going to say this, because we're on air. This is way over everybody's heads almost. And I'm not saying that people aren't intelligent. They are. But the reality is, we'll talk about that later. But the reality is, yes, the human body has been genetically altered. Okay? It's been altered with its DNA. And understand something. Really, guys? Really? Right now, they're taking stem cells and creating bodies out of them. And you don't think that they... Okay, I'm going to say this one thing and then I want to drop this because I want to put my head up my butt and I don't want to go into the universe right now. Okay? But understand something. Everybody thinks that the Darwin theory, which is goofy, and then everybody thinks about the other theory of, suffer today to get to heaven tomorrow. And I don't believe in any of those. And if you actually did your research and really looked at the science of it, you'd look and you'd find out that human life was here 250,000 years ago. And understand something. If you were to take a look at the pyramids, and then I want to leave it alone. Okay, they have tried so many times to see how to get those big blocks to make those pyramids and duplicate it. They can't. Because everything is energy. And I'll just tell you this much. Hold on here. Stonehenge is one of them. So all of these are energy grids to create energy from out of the universe. And we're not allowed to have free energy. And back, try to see if you can handle this one. Just try it. 385,000 years ago, they were more advanced. And they were using energy to move those blocks to make those pyramids. And we have been dumbed down. I'm done.
Graham Hancock.
What?
Graham Hancock.
Yeah. Well, actually, there's even better than that. Okay? And I'll tell you where to go for it. Okay? So let's get off that topic. It's too much for people to handle. They buy into the stories that are only a few thousand years old. You know? Let's let them stay there. We just want them to digest right now and poop. Okay? All right? Okay, here we go. So now we've had to travel 24 feet. 25 feet. So just think if you didn't food combine. Just think if you didn't drink enough water. And understand something. You better get this. I drink 8 glasses of water a day. That is so gone. That's so gone. So gone. Blue light poisoning, 5G, chem, fluoride, chlorine, GMOs, all the drugs people take. My gosh, you need structured water. And if you're a woman and you are your right weight for a woman, you'd look at 3 liters, 3 quarts a day. If you're a woman as big as a man, you drink like a man. So you would need 4 quarts, 4 liters, or maybe even 5 liters or 5 quarts. You're drinking 3/4 of an ounce for every pound. And that's way off. And then what did somebody say here 2 days ago? Well, I was told that if I drink too much, I'll drown. Well, yeah, if you're swimming underwater and drinking, maybe. I don't know. Yes?
Just wanted to ask you, if you make juices, like vegetable juices, the juicer or whatever.
Well, that counts
as well?
because vegetable juice is structured already.
But no,
Nature structures it all.
But a smoothie wouldn't count as much, right?
Well, it's more food, right?
Yeah.
But whatever liquid you put into it, you can calculate,
Okay.
right?
Thank you.
But the smoothie is more food. Okay?
Cold pressed juices are
Cool.
structured.
They're structured. Yeah, they're structured. And don't drink fruit juice unless you dilute it down. If you drink straight orange juice, you're going to blow your brain. Okay, that's called healthy sugar junkie, which is unhealthy. Just know this, that one glass of orange juice will put your immune system into fight and flight for at least 3 hours.
But you could combine juice, if you're making your own juices, you could combine like carrot.
Well, no, I tell everyone never do more than 20% orange to carrot, 20% orange to other juices. Or even with your children, those juice packs are preparing them to be alcoholics. They are. That's not even real juice. The juice packs and all the sugar that, you know, honey, you've been so good. Let mommy poison you. That's to rot their teeth out so that we could put mercury fillings in so that we could calcify their pineal gland to bring down their higher understanding of themselves so that they will be Stepford wives and numbed out men. Okay? Welcome to the world. Just wake up. That's all. That's all you had to do was wake up and know that the more man touches something, the less you want it. That's all. It's really simple. It's really simple. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Good. Okay. All right. So here we go. So this is the Holy Grail. This is 85% of your immune system. So how are you doing, girls, guys? How's that doing? It's a good thing that you have a zest for life, or you'd be in a wheelchair and maybe wearing a diaper. Let me tell you, the emotional body, the spirit, can override for so long. And then the bottom is going to, that's why they say it, don't they? The bottom fell out. That's right, because your core rotted out. Understand something. Okay. Does everybody understand that smelly armpits mean that you have worms and that you're rotting in your pelvis? Did you know that? Did you know that when you have a smelly vagina that you've been pooping in your vagina? Did you know that when you have halitosis, right? You know, the kind where you roll over and go, honey, I'd like a kiss. And, oh, honey, please, 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 somebody pooped in your mouth. Please go brush your teeth. That person actually has worms. When you get bad halitosis, you've got a really bad case of worms. Does everybody know? Okay, go if you don't believe me. If you've got halitosis, go get your doctor to check your ammonia levels, and you will find out that you are high in ammonia levels because that is the urine from worms. Okay? All right? So worms, they urinate in you and they poo in you, and 99 out of 100 people have worms. You can't have what they call dis-ease or any kind, you know, you ever see children with pimples here or pimples here on their face, right here? They're full of worms. At least 5, maybe 4 to 5 different worms are in them, okay? Because children actually get fed worse than adults. Oh, no, I don't eat that anymore, but my kids do. Right? So the kids have worse worms, okay, than adults do because kids get treats, and that's not treating them nice. Yes?
Can those worms be transferred through sperm?
Through those, yeah, of course. You can transfer worms through sperm, the very small ones, and you can also transfer, the main thing you do is you transfer fungus. That's why your vagina is so itchy the next day, okay? Because he dumped his fungus load, right? Okay? Yes?
How do you get rid of the worms?
How do you get rid of the worms? Well, for one thing, you know, don't be a manure pile. So one thing, the more overweight you are, the more bad case of worms you have. So understand the big, the bold, and the beautiful women and men, they're full of worms.
But some are really skinny and they have...
The skinny ones are full of worms too. Do you understand something? Health is health. Health is wealth. And it's also about vibration and frequency. And now you don't want to hear this. And I know you don't. Nobody does. But the people that are underweight and can't gain weight, and the people that are overweight and can't lose weight, they're emotionally unbalanced. They have too many things that they don't like about themselves and their life. They don't embrace loving themselves. Do you actually believe that if you had unconditional love for yourself, you'd have one worm? Oh, you would. There's a worm right here walking across the top of my eyelid, eating any dead skin cells that fall off the top of my eye here. Did you know that? And he's a good guy. So there are good worms. There are good bacteria. There are good everything. But remember something, bad bacteria is saving your life. Those worms that are killing you are actually saving your life. They're trying to eat up poison, but they're also stealing your nutrition because they're parasites. A parasite will suck the life out of you. And remember something, just so you get it. 99% of all parasites, you know, they say it's in the water, it's in the food, but just understand something. You create them from the invisible. We talked about it. I'm going to say it one more time and then I'm done with that. I got a bowl of fruit, starts to go bad. What happens? Fruit flies. That's a parasite. It's a flying parasite. It's to go in and start to eat the fruit up. When the flies come, it tells you not to eat it anymore. Oh, just shush them away. It tells you that its vibration has come low enough for a parasite to move in. You can do all the parasite cleanses you want. But the reality is I don't do those anymore. You know, I had my own parasite formula, liver formula for detox, kidney formula. I don't need it. It was just a play. By the time people got done all my cleanses, they were exhausted. They did feel better, but they were exhausted. Why don't we give somebody a perfect day so they have it every day? How would you like to never do a parasitic cleanse again, or a kidney cleanse, or a liver cleanse, or a colon cleanse? What if you just had gentle baby steps each day and you had a perfect program? Why do you think we brought out the Perfect Day Consult? You had a consult yesterday, right? Pretty logical, isn't it? If you followed it, which you probably, most people wouldn't, but if you were to follow that 80%, your whole life would be changed. You'd have everything you deserved and wanted. You just got to follow the rules of nature. But how are you going to do it? How many people do you live with? Two. And what shape are they in?
Good shape.
Really? They don't have any of the addictions that you do?
Well, they're not overweight.
That doesn't matter. Listen, I know people that look like they're the most in-shape people ever. And understand something. I deal with people all the time. They have 2 or 3 bowel movements a day and they still have bowel cancer. What you think is health, you don't know. Until you have your own health and you understand what a perfect day is on an emotional and physical level, you will not experience real health. That's it. I'm not putting you down. I don't know what's going on. I know that the game's not fair. But then I wonder, is this is a challenge for us to totally love, honor, and respect ourselves and bring our vibration up, and that's it. And if we can pass this test, we get to move on. We get a raise, we get a promotion, a heavenly promotion, I don't know. But understand something. You can pray all you want and believe in God all you want, but disrespect this temple. What a crock. There's so many people that tell me, you know what? Okay, I got to tell you this, and I'm not putting anybody down, okay? This happens to me every week. I wish Lori was here because she would tell you the truth. Every week, and it happened 2 or 3 times. Dr. Wolf, are you still a born-again Christian? Because if you're not, I can't come to you. People get these crazy ideas. We are all created by the same creator. Everybody is welcomed in my home. Do you know what parasite is? That's a parasite. Alienation. Parasitic ideas. The chosen. Choose yourself. I'm not trying to put anybody down. I'm not trying to put down the way I was raised either. I'm just trying to tell you, people get these concepts in their head. Just remember something. You can eat and do everything right when it comes to food and nutrition. And if you've got some kind of view that you alienate your brothers and sisters put yourself above or feel that others are not good enough, guess what? You've already poisoned everything about yourself. It's unconditional love. That's the healer. That's all I'm saying. Okay. So anyway, so we're gonna chew our food. It's gonna go down our throat into our stomach. Then it's gonna go 22 feet, ring around the rosy, and then come to what we call the ileocecal valve. When it comes to the ileocecal valve, the big problem that people are having, and this is probably 75% of everyone, is that this valve is actually calcified. How many people know that when you've got eye pressure to the point that it's really dangerous? We hear about that all the time. There's a valve that releases the pressure for the eye. That valve is calcified. Whether you believe it or not, there's only one way to do it, really. Now, there's many ways, but clapping will help, right? Of course, doing eye cupping with silver bullet liquid, bright eyes, and also with the infinite iodine. But if you want to decalcify in a New York second, you do the celsonic right here. And the celsonic will break up the calcium, and it opens up the valve. You do a celsonic down here, where somebody says, my ileocecal valve is open. That's what I've been told, and I'm having all kinds of trouble. And understand, you ever hear of SIBO, small intestine bacterial overgrowth? Well, it shouldn't be called that. It should be called large intestine backup, because the door doesn't close. So the worms crawl in, the worms crawl out. The fecal matter that should be in the cecum and then getting to be moved out, it's liquid. So it can slosh back through the opening. And if it does, you open yourself up for small intestinal problems. Understand, leaky gut is not the small intestine. Leaky gut is the large intestine. And I don't want to get into it today, but the only reason why everybody's suffering from leaky gut, and this is the main reason, it's antibiotics that you've taken through a prescription, and it's antibiotics that are in all your animal products and byproducts that aren't organic and free range. There it is. That's it right there. Okay?
Yeah.
Yes?
What about eye infections? If you get eye infections, is that to do with the large?
Well, an eye infection, for one thing, okay, this is real science, guys. Eye infection means the vibration in that tissue has come down. Now, does everybody understand that whatever you eat and drink goes in the body, it leaves? Does everybody understand that every nutraceutical that we sell goes in with the highest vibration? Because why do we call it nutraceuticals? Because when you don't take supplements, they're low vibrational. You want to find out understand, the power of healing is in frequency and vibration. The power in your eating is the light that's in the food. How much light is in a processed food? Okay, go to the light. Find the light. Become the light of the world. So everything you do, you want to hang around people that give off light. You want to eat food that gives off light. Remember the fruit flies? Well, they get what they said. There's not enough light here. We get them now. There's not enough light for the humans, but there's enough light for us fruit flies. It's our turn. Do you understand? I'm trying to make it logical.
So meat doesn't have light, or it doesn't have sunlight.
Meat does not have light, but it does have nutrition, and I don't myself. Okay, am I against meat? No. Do I eat meat? You could count on my hand how many times I eat meat in a year. But it's got to be free range, got to be organic. I got to know where it came from. It has to be done with love.
What about fish if it's fresh?
Well, there's no such thing as fresh fish. Did you just catch it? If a fish smells like a fish, it's already rotten.
No, I mean really good fish.
Did you hear what I just said?
I did.
So that's the rule.
I
So
live on the coast. Sometimes
I know, but how many people here live on the coast? They can throw a line in and grab a fish. So we're here to train.
Yeah. Okay.
I said if the fish doesn't smell like a fish, when you get fish, it should have no smell. If it has any smell, it's already decaying. And that's every fish you buy. You got to catch and eat. Or you got to catch and freeze right away.
Right.
You're a lot better off if you knew a company that caught the fish, froze it right on the ship. If they could guarantee that. Don't tell me about, okay, when I was living in Mexico the last 2 years, we go right down to the fishermen. They hand it to us. They caught it at 6 a.m. We were there at 7. No, they caught it probably at 5 a.m. We were there at 7 a.m. So we went home and we had it for lunch or we had it for supper. We would not go the next day. If it smells like fish, it's gone. Nobody wants to hear this. Every food industry is going to hide its dirty little secrets.
But any kind of canned fish you get from the stores are going to be good. That is.
Do you know Jim who did it? Do you know Jim personally who canned it?
No. Unless you know the person, unless someone gives you their own can.
Let me tell you something. When it comes to food, you're allowed to lie. And when it comes to nutraceuticals, they want to say goodbye to us. Come on. Your country just made nutraceuticals illegal.
Canada or America?
Canada.
Canada.
Your country.
I'm not here.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay. Well, you're a foreigner,
Yes, I am.
and so am I.
I'm an alien.
I don't consider myself from any country. I consider myself that I'm going to live in the country that's going to respect me the most and where I'm going to have the most joy. I'm a nothing. I'm not going to brand myself. I'm going where I have the most fun. Eh, Lori? Like we're here going,
I'm from planet Earth.
you know, the reality is this. I have to swim every day in the ocean. So that's where I have to make my home. And how long am I allowed to get there? 3 minutes. 3 to 5 minutes maximum on my electric bike. That's it. And that's what I want. I'm not compromising. I want the iodine. I want to do a salt scrub, okay, with the sand and do a salt scrub on my body. Do you know how healing that is? You can't pay for that. And then I want to go there and swim for 45 minutes to an hour in the ocean, and I want to sun gaze, and that's it. That's it. I want what I want, and I'm going to have what I want, and you believe you're not allowed to have what you want.
Did you ever consider the Big Island?
The what?
The Big Island of Hawaii?
No, I don't want to do that. Don't want to do it. They got a lot of problems over there. I'm going to Puerto Rico. No, they could have problems there too, but we'll if we have to, we'll leave. But, you know, we've got the Puerto Rican government behind us, our whole university. If I told you the things that are going on over there, I mean, nobody gives up this opportunity. And I'm going to be living on the beach, right? I'm going to live 20 minutes, half an hour out of San Juan, right? I'm going to have a really, really, really beautiful clinic. And we're going to have our university, and we'll have people coming from all over the world. I'll have a huge studio as big as this room, and we will be shooting, and we will be allowing people that have gifts for the world to come on there. And we will probably, I'd say by next Christmas, have 60 different shows where people come on 15 minutes every week to help to support the world for free. That's what I want. And I'm going to have it. See, they will tell me I can't. My friends will say it's impossible. But understand, if it was a vision that came to me, I know I can have it. Any vision that comes to you, no matter how glorious it is, you could have it. But then what you do is you take a glorious vision and you ask somebody who has no vision if you should do it. I won't be discussing my visions with you. And not because I don't trust you, but guess what? I trust in myself, and it's my vision. And when you get a vision, okay? No, that's the only vision, not television. It's your vision. It's your image. It's your dream. It's you go ahead. Do you know why most people are miserable? Because they have opted out of their dreams for their family and their friends. Well, guess what? I don't choose to get along. I choose. What?
Will you still open your clinic in Kelowna?
Oh, Kelowna's clinic will be open in about 2 months, 3 months. But, huh?
There's going to be a clinic.
What?
There's going to be a clinic now in Kelowna?
Yeah, there's going to be a clinic in Kelowna. Just like there's a clinic here in Calgary. Jason has a clinic. Just like Alicia does. But I know Alicia may not, who knows what she's up to. We hear she's up to something funky. I'm not sure what. Okay. Can't trust her. Okay, let's get back to this. So, the ileocecal valve can cause a problem, but you go in and you do, all you got to do is you're going to do non-surgical, your technique, and you need to only do it for 2 to 3 minutes. And if you've got a cell-sonic, you shut the door. You shut the door.
Then it works properly.
Yeah, that's right. It opens and shuts properly. Remember something, just as the hinge gets rusty, the valves in the body, it's not rust. Okay, ready for this? Okay? Doors get rusty. Valves in the human beings get calcified.
Crusty.
Yeah, crusty.
Now again, that is on our right side because we're looking at that image like you.
Yeah, I know, but I'm looking at you here. So it's on my right side. I'm looking at you. No, but everything here is me. I'm looking at you this way, so look at it this way. We would never have it backwards.
It's down here, right?
Yeah, right there.
Right.
So if you had pain in that area, would that...
If you have pain in an area, just know this. It's that viral infection I told you. Gas ass. So that's the first thing. And that is actually just gas, okay? Endotoxin, we call it. And that's from the bad bacteria farting. Okay? And don't forget about the worms, because where we find the most worm nest, you ready? In the large intestine is in the cecum.
Oh, really?
Yeah, right in here. You'll find sometimes even a big ball of worms right in here, right?
Daryl, based on the fact that people have pain on their right side, the ileocecal valve being calcified, for instance, I've been taken to the hospital. Where are our appendixes in relation to?
Oh, well, there's the appendix right here. See? But understand something. I said the ball of worms will be here. I said that you could have a ball of fecal matter stagnated here. And understand, this appendix, what is an appendix? What does it do?
Well, isn't it part of our lymphatic?
That's good. You did great. That was great. It's part of our lymphatic. So it makes lymphocytes, phagocytes. And what it does is it also creates good bacteria. So to the medical system, this is a nothing. Just like your tonsils are nothing. Yeah. See, when your tonsils are the same as here. So, believe it or not, this is like the guard dog, right? So it's the guard dog. So everything coming in here drops in here, and it's releasing phagocytes, lymphocytes, good bacteria to be taken through here to help to create more. So here, with your tonsils, why don't you go take a look and type this in. What European schools do not allow you to get into their school because you had your tonsils taken out? So it's been proven that if your tonsils are taken out, your mentality drops. Boom.
They took mine out at 4.
Yeah, well, they took mine out too. That's why I act like I do.
Okay? The image is I'm on a gurney as a 4-year-old child being gassed by the nuns in their full habit.
Yeah, I know, but you should have never been anywhere near a nun. Nuns get nuns, so they're very miserable, so they will torture the shit out of everyone. And anyway, if you have anything to do with the Catholic Church and your parents, well, guess what? They're just so asleep, I can't even help them. I can't even help them. You know what? That is the biggest mafia in the world. And understand something. There might be a clue when we have all men that don't get married, okay, running the thing. And nothing against that. I'm not putting them down, but you could have picked a better faith, okay?
That's a guard dog too, right?
What?
Our
This?
uncles and our...
Well, it's a guard dog because guess what? When, you ready for this? I bet you don't know it. You ready? Is everybody ready? When the appendix gets in trouble, the tonsils go. Did you know that? These two are joined. When the appendix gets in trouble, your tonsils scream. You don't believe me? Why don't you go and talk to anybody that has tonsillitis, that means inflammation in the tonsils, which is just an alarm system in the tonsils to tell you that the appendix is in trouble. Did you get that? Hope you're getting this. So, and ask them if they've had bowel problems, and they're going to say no. Right? Okay, what did we say to you yesterday? Do you have bowel problems? Well, she says, well, I go once every 3 or 4 days, right? Was that right, or did I hear it wrong? So, understand something. She's supposed to have 3 to 4 bowel movements a day, and she has one every 3 to 4 days. And nobody ever really said to her, until you get that right, you are not going to win the fight. That's it. She's not going to. But she's not going to. She either makes that a priority or she will blow up like the blimp. Okay? And she will be low vibrational, and every parasite will be feeding on her until she leaves. And guess what? You'll want to leave. The last 10 to 15 years, the majority of the population doesn't want to live, but they don't want to die because they don't know what they believe in anymore. And that is the only crime that I know. Okay?
They tell you to take Restrolax. That just makes you...
No, please, stop. That's your fault. You want to listen to a commercial and a medical doctor when it comes to your health? Then guess what? That's your fault. That is your fault. You already know medical doctors that were never trained in natural health, which is human health, but you still go to them. And do you know why? On a deep level, you do not love or care for yourself. And you're allowing them to get rid of you. And that's so deep. Now, are you a loving human being? You are so sweet. You are a loving human being. You wouldn't hurt anybody except yourself. All right.
Carol, so
Yeah.
everything becomes invisible, then if I can imagine, I could regrow the tonsils and the adenoids that have been removed.
Well, they've been cut out, and can you grow them? I'll be honest with you. Do you know how high you'd have to bring your frequency? Do you know how much you would have to 100% believe you could grow that organ back, the tonsils? Now understand something. I'm not saying you couldn't, but you'd also have to get rid of the scar tissue from the area. So I believe that if you had any chance, it would have to be a cellsonic. I know I keep saying it, but that's 25,000 volts put into a field. Does anybody know that the higher the vibration you put into a field, the bigger the miracle? Are you getting this? Do you understand that you entered the womb as an electrical, magnetic, light energy being? Do you understand that God is an electrical, magnetic energy source that would blow your gazoo-boo? Even if you could even just see it in a tiny little glimpse, you'd have a fart attack and die. You wouldn't be able to handle the energy. But the reality is that's what that is. And that's my belief. So then I'm probably wrong because it's probably an old man with a beard and he's judging us. That's probably what he is. Yeah, okay. All right. I use that sarcasm because people actually are believing this on a subconscious level. If you ask them consciously, they'd say, I don't believe that. Then why do you call God he? Why aren't we calling God she? Because women create and men decimate. And guess what? We've definitely made God into a decimator, haven't we? How about a terminator? Okay, yes.
The EMF, is that the same as a cellsonic?
The EMF what?
Arc.
Arc?
R, just R.
No, not at all. That's a cellsonic back there.
Is that something, because that's all...
EMF is frequencies.
Right.
They work on the cellular level. There's nothing more powerful on the planet than a cellsonic. It brings the thunder down. People go, well, how many different frequencies does it have? All of them at once. All of them at once. Do you know what was one of the main things that got me up on Marketplace? Because I said it shuts down stage 4 inflammation. I didn't say it cured cancer. I said it shut down stage 4 inflammation because I don't believe in cancer, because there is no cancer. There is lack of oxygen by 35% in the cell, so the frequency drops. And when the frequency drops, the cell turns into what they call a cancer cell. It morphs so that because that person's eaten a lot of sugar, refined carbs, and because they're so stressed out, they have a lot of acidity, and cancer cells, which is these cells, they live off of that. The only person in the world that received a Nobel Prize was Dr. Otto Warburg, and that's because he discovered it. Are we done yet? So do you think maybe you should do the Lionheart breathing? Put a smile on your face? Do you think that you should hang around with people that shine light? Do you think you should take and drink the water that has the most light, which is structured water, not Kangen? But I'm not telling you not to use Kangen. Everything's Kangen now. But if you don't structure your water, it's still not got the hydration you want. Do you get it? Okay. So if you have Kangen and structure unit, you got the best of everything, don't you? Yes?
The opposite is true. The appendix is related to the tonsil. If we have infected tonsil, then the appendix is going to suffer.
No. You have the infected tonsil because of the appendix on a physical level, but on an emotional level, you can't choke down any of your parents' crap anymore. You know, by the time we get our tonsils taken out, we were told that we were unconditional love, and they gave that to us when we were born. As soon as we started to walk and talk, we act like them, and they don't realize that. And if they did, they would say, honey, that's how I act. Thank you, sweetheart, my little Yoda. But the parents have been put into the judgment world, and justice must prevail. And if the child misbehaves, it's going to get spanked, ostracized, put in its room, something taken away, okay? But meanwhile, who does the child act like? And we're so unconscious that we don't even realize that our baby is acting like us. So we kick the shit out of it, emotionally and physically, because that's the same people who took the diaper from your butt and put it on your face. Yes?
Do you have insight when you were talking about the children there? It seemed like in the early 90s.
Can you do me a favor? Can you start answering some of the questions? On all of them? Can you, Lorraine, can you grab a phone? And no, not here.
Oh,
get the heck out of here. I've got 2 phones there. Okay, let's see. Decide how you're going to work this. Just know, everybody, we will come by and answer your questions, okay? All right? I can't do it right now, okay? What's the difference between Kangen and structured? I'll only do one question right now, okay? Kangen water, you can adjust the pH. And Kangen water, most people that sell them say do 9.5. Do 9.5 if you've got stage 4 inflammation cancer. But don't do any more than 8.5 because you're going to mess up the hydrochloric acid in your stomach. That's way too alkaline. Way too. Why do you have to overshoot everything? Okay, the next thing is that the Kangen unit also microclusters the water, and it puts extra electrons into it. So holy crap, that sounds like a great machine to me. But it doesn't structure it. When you structure water, it has 1,000% better hydration into the cells. Okay, guys. So let's take a look at this. If you don't drink structured water, especially if you drink distilled or reverse osmosis or bottled water, your body's going to work its butt off to structure it. Now, what does that mean? Well, first of all, see, this is why I can't answer your questions, guys. I can only do this one, but you know what? We will do them. So why don't you find out what is a water droplet? A water droplet has 2,500 to 3,000 sheets stacked on itself. When you run the water through a structure unit, do we have one here? People are asking what it is. See, this is the stuff. Then we get off track. Does somebody have a structure unit? Okay, thank you. Do you want to wrap? Okay. All right. That's a structure unit. Never breaks down, never wears out. You know, to prove that we're right, because people don't want to believe in something so simple, because life isn't simple. It's got to be difficult. This will last forever, and we give everybody a 90-day money-back guarantee. So what are you going to lose? Nothing. Okay? And the reality is, let me finish what structured water is. So, thank you. So structured water, when it goes through the structure unit, okay, does anybody know what's going on in the skies right now that we don't like? We're not going to talk about it, because I probably won't make it even through this lecture with TikTok, and I'll be kicked off for a week here. Okay? So, when the rain comes down right now, my God, 25 years ago, we were talking about acid rain and how it would actually eat the paint off of cars sometimes. That there was so much acid. Now, does everybody understand what the ozone layer does? The ozone layer structures your water. So when the rainwater comes down, even if there's heavy metals, even if there's microbes in it, even if there's chemicals in it, guys, our crops grow just as good, okay, now as they did 500 years ago. Okay, that which created the whole universe, right, created that, because this is the sixth extinction we're going through. And extinction doesn't mean everybody dies. It just means a whole bunch of people unconsciously off themselves. Okay? So, anyways, when the rain comes down, why isn't the birds, the bees, the flowers, the trees dying? Why aren't they? Why every time it rains, everything just jumps for joy? And guess what? So, people don't like when I say this, and I'm not telling you to do this. So get yourself a carbon filter, get yourself a Kangen, get what you can afford. But understand something. We travel all over, right, hon? How do I look energy-wise? How much energy do I have? How do I look? How am I doing? We will drink straight out of a tap, whether it's China, Mexico, and run it through a structure unit. And people go, okay, I don't want to follow him anymore. He's a dumbass. I get it. But the reality is we understand science. The invisible will overrule the visible. And understand that. Energy is everything. Frequency is everything. And you need to get it. Now, when we get back and move again, and get settled after this world tour, we will set things up and have the highest degree of frequency in everything. Why? Because we deserve it. I'm not non-deserving of anything. I'm grateful for everything I have, but guess what? I'm going to demand more every day from myself and from the universe, because the universe is abundant. And I don't play into failure and sin or crap. So, that holds you back, right? I don't know if I deserve it. Well, guess what? You're never going to get it. There you go. We got that done now. And it doesn't mean there's more for me, because there was abundance for everyone on this planet. Okay? Let's get back to the story. Okay? And it's a BS story. It's my story. It's a belief system story. So it's mine. You don't have to buy into it. But this part is science. So when you actually, when you drink water, your body has to take that 2,500 to 3,000 layers. And guess what? There is what's called an aquaporin channel. You might want to write this, because it's important information. And it's in every cell. The aquaporin channel puts off a frequency. But everything is energy. Do you want to take the energy to structure the water in the body? Or would you like to actually structure it before you put it in the body and keep the energy? Are you with me? Okay. So when you run it through the structure unit, you've structured it. So now there's no energy that has to be utilized. Now, what does it mean by structuring? Well, once the water, has the structuring frequency added to it, guess what? It erases everybody that ever drank it. because water carries information and communication. It erases everything. The heavy metal can still be in it. The chemical can still be in it. The virus can be in it. The bacteria can be in it. And the virus is just it's toxin, guys. It's not alive. So the reality is these things could be in it, but they can't touch you. It can't touch you once you structure it. You'll drink the water, you'll get the best of it, and the rest will leave. And it does not go into the cell or alter the cell at all. That's real science. Don't believe me. Go look up fourth phase water. Go look up structuring. Comes in many words. Look up Dr. Gerald Pollack, okay, out of Washington State University. Okay, now, I had him on my show, actually. Okay, so now, if you take a look at all water, like Kangen water, you take a look at, drink Kangen water, and it's great. Drink structured water, and you can drink a lot more structured water than you can of the Kangen water. It's the lightest water to drink. So it's great when you can, if you drink regular filtered bottled water. Oh, and smart water is for dumb ass people. Do you notice something? There's a clue here. Smart water. I'm drinking dumb water, okay? All right, so you can't buy any bottled water that you should be buying. If it's not structured, it's not what you want. It's just a sales pitch. That's the most criminal, one of the most criminal things going on. Don't you see these guys at Costco with those really flexible plastic bottles, the small ones, you can go like this. If you can make noise out of them, that means that they're giving off carcinogens. And do you ever drink the little plastic bottle of water? You go to drink it and you can taste the plastic? No, you can't. You can taste the petroleum. No, you can't. You can taste the carcinogens. Because all plastic is made out of petroleum. And the Rockefellers rule the world, and that's why it's legal to poison humans. So the reality is they got rid of all the glass bottles, and they did it, okay? And they brought in the plastic. But then we're supposed to recycle. That never does get recycled because we're guilty for everything that's going on the planet, and you're guilty for nothing. That's another big BS. Oh my God, the planet. I'm so worried. You know what? The planet, after the last human is gone, which that never will happen, just a bunch are leaving, okay, it will fart and burp and go chugga, 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 chugga. And they know this, and they got you, oh my God, they have you thinking that petroleum's going to run out. And guess what? It's being made faster than we can even use it. Did you know that? No, you didn't. Most of you didn't know. I know that. So we don't know that. No, you don't know that. You don't know that we could have 100 billion people living on this planet and still have room to grow. You buy into all of their stuff. So do I, until I woke up. And know they will never tell the truth about anything. Hey, just know this. Every time that you thought you needed to control something, you had to lie. Every time that you thought you had to control something, you had to lie. Why don't you just follow yourself a little bit, and you'll see how you are a liar. The only way they could control us is to scare us and freak us out. And they could walk in that door right now, and you guys could go, and I'd go, what do you want? What do you got? Understand something. If you have unconditional love for yourself, they're not coming for you. They can't touch it. They can't touch it. They can't touch it. They want the low-hanging fruit. Remember the fruit flies? How many of you guys have fruit flies? Parasites, diseases, symptoms. They want you. They don't want me. God, it's just like Revenue Canada. Okay, they're going to go, okay, give me a couple files here. Okay, all right. Wow. This person makes $10 million. This person makes $30,000. Leave them alone. It's a business. Revenue Canada is a private business. It's not a government business. I'm not going to get into it. The reality is this. We can't wake people up too much. They'll have a headache. Okay? We still didn't get past here. And, yeah, we've got another half hour. And if we don't, we'll do a part 2. Right? How's that? Because it'll be lunch, right? How about we break for lunch right now?
Okay.
I feels like it, doesn't it? We'll break for lunch. I mean, I think we're constipated. We can't seem to move. So why don't we just kind of forget about having the bowel movement and go eat? Okay, all right. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back in an hour. Bye now.